So, and actually, we can put that on the recording, AB.
Yeah.
That it's your job to make sure that this is exactly right. And
Yeah.
there is some competitor software out there. Do you have access to that, Julius, still?
Which one are you
And
talking about?
we're using it, AB, if you could reach out to Tim, and because we got new software, and when we set up pricing, like there's how we set pricing, but we should take a look at the screens of the other software. If they have like a fixed dollar plus a percent, and we only have a fixed dollar or a percent, we'd want to just include that all at the same time. Does that make sense, AB?
Yes. Yeah,
That we
I
Because
can
that type of stuff to go back later is a whole lot of work, but when we're at the beginning, it's not much extra work to add just a couple more options there. But oh, Sherry, you're on weekly charges.
Yep,
Okay, go for it.
I don't do this a lot.
Okay.
So basically they fill in each week the date that they're doing this manual data entry and what week it pertains to. And then there is a drop down for the different individual who is supposed to do something with it. So we'll kind of look at week 28 and you'll see most of them are Jessica, which means she has to add this to the billing sheets manually. So there's a drop down menu of what customer is this pertaining to? And there's a drop down menu of what is the type of service that we're manually billing them for. And then they start plugging in basic amounts. There could be, there's usually, sometimes there's a number of orders. You'll see that it doesn't always. We'll look at a previous week that's got data in it. So there's an amount of that we're supposed to add to pay towards Kingdom. What's the charge?
Oh, they have FBA prep here?
Yeah, it's all here. There's FBA prep, there's fulfillment. It's so like we had 1,200 orders for this particular client. 1,200 orders went out. Here's notes, don't bill, but pay Kingdom. And what that means is they billed the client in the FBA billing system, but we have to add this data to be able to pay it to Kingdom. So this tells us this is how much we pay to Kingdom and this is how much we billed the client. And then we
Hmm.
just have manual check marks. Was this done? Did somebody audit? And was it audited?
Oh, so this is the weekly charges are also fees we need to pay to Kingdom then,
Yes.
that the client doesn't get billed.
Right. So there's
So,
a mix.
so
So,
Elias, do you follow on that?
Yeah, I'm taking
Okay.
notes.
And do you follow on that, AB? And
and
what will make Sherry and I happy will be if the two of you ask lots of questions, because then
yeah.
and
Hmm.
then you'll see down
if
here,
you
like
just
here.
say, yes, we understand, we won't know for sure.
So this is where we track. We got the bill from UPS. It was for shipping. It was 200. So we have to add that to the shipping to the summary tab under the shipping for UPS. For FedEx, we add these amounts together. They get split. So let me pick on week 23. How's that? What, sorry, what week was I looking at? Week 27. Boy, my dyslexia is bad today. So week 27, let's look at weekly chart fulfillment. And these charges go in different places. So we probably have, one of the things they may need to do, Rachel, is clean up what these headers really mean because they don't mean the same thing anymore on everything. We just know
Hmm.
what to do with them. So for shipping, you got UPS, there's 295. So there's different amounts of shipping.
How do we know if it's billed to the client or billed to Kingdom?
Um, There's an amount here for Kingdom.
Oh,
There's an amount.
it's a separate column. Okay, that makes it nice and easy.
So like for UPS on week 27,
Okay, I have a question. Can you go back to that screen?
hold on.
Okay.
I got to get to the right place on UPS so you see where it goes. Okay. All right.
So all the UPS charges that you have highlighted,
Mhm.
is it important to know where they're coming from, or should we take the values as is from this
This
sheet?
is the only proof we've got.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
very important to have that data, because otherwise we'd have no idea.
But what happens is this is that reconciliation of the invoices we receive from UPS. So we
mm-hmm.
reconcile back and say, all right, for this invoice that's on here, there's a reconciliation piece of, all right, we got to go back through and look at, this is what UPS charged us for, but what did ShipStation say it cost us? And if we didn't bill enough, then we have to go back and bill the client more money.
And and
Okay.
Sherry, I'll let you go completely through and then I'll give my overview.
So then you'll see on here, that data gets pulled in. I'm going to do these over here for right now, but you'll see here's the week that we're in. And then we manually add, there's formulas in here that says, hold on, I'll get to them. I just got to get to the right. So you'll see there's a manual formula that says of these invoices, we added together that amount and we have to pay that to Kingdom. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 invoices that came off of here. So let's see if I'm going to add the right ones up. 13,000, right? Is that the right? Did I get them all? So you'll see 13,413, 13,413, So manually, we have to manually add them in here to come up with that. And then that number equals that. So, and then we do the same thing for the FedEx. So FedEx invoice off of here, you'll see there's 3 different FedEx amounts and 3 different invoices. And so usually the largest one goes for the domestic and the other 2 smaller ones, what gets added together to count as international. And that comes from these invoice details. So that's how they get manually added together to come up with these 2 totals, which if you look down here is 947.72 and 947.72. Then you got stuff like Momentous Apparel. Okay. So now I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to go to the billing week and I'm going to find Momentous. Okay. So you find that client across here. So there's a 269, which is, you'll see that references to AF 269.43. So 269.43 went in here. And then you go across some more. And we add 346.37, which you'll see. So I'm going to guess there was a markup, or there was 2 of them. Let me just see, control find Momentous. So in week 27, there were 2 different charges for them. So we billed them $50. Oops, I gotta pick my week, don't I? I gotta pick the same week across the board. There was $50 there. And So it's 346.37. So we add that together to get 346.37. Then, if there's an amount to be paid to Kingdom, there's usually a formula in here or a hard-coded number that we're supposed to add to it. So there's no payment to Kingdom here, but there's a $30 hard code payment to this. So because most of these have a percentage, we give the Kingdom 60%, but because this one didn't have that same 60% split, you'll see that it's got a hard coded and we make it magenta so it jumps out at us to know that it's a unique one. You go
Okay.
down here to Nick, you'll see there's a 60% mark, a split. So what it does is it takes 60% of the amount that's in here in column BD as in under the additional charges column.
So Sherry, once you're done, once they ask questions, then I want to talk on like how we would code this.
This is the very rudimentary. I have not done weekly charges in a tremendous amount of time, so there's probably some more complexities that I'm not aware of currently, but that's kind of the gist of it.
Do you guys have questions on how it works? Because I'll go over stuff on the coding side next.
So, as I am understanding this, we have different sheets where the data is coming from to this weekly charges sheet, right?
I don't know if there's different sheets. We are
Yes,
getting
that's
these.
correct.
Okay. Because I know it's data entry from Tim's team manually into here.
Oh, okay. Okay, so some of the numbers are coming from other sheets and some of them are manual entries.
They're all manual entries that may come from other sheets. Like
Oh, okay.
like this invoice, they manually entered this amount and this
So,
detail of information.
okay, so just trying to understand from the coding perspective. Sure. So the starting point for us would be this sheet, or do we have to go back to the other sheets that
Oh,
you showed?
okay. Let me talk about the coding perspective here.
Okay.
So what we would do is we'd have a screen in the software where they can go in and fill this out. However, some of these charges are either formulas or recurring charges. We'd want them to be able to set up recurring charges, but to see what's classified as the weekly charges. So angle one is just similar to this spreadsheet. They can enter it in. We would want to better label these columns, like that notes column is really internal notes. Like
Uh-huh.
that invoice number doesn't go to the customer. And we'd also want a good description column, which I don't see because that needs to end up on the customer invoice. Like we can't just invoice somebody. You've got a FedEx charge of X number of dollars. There needs to be a description there.
Okay, so can I pitch in one question here, Rachel?
Yes.
Okay. So if this is going to be a screen in the software, so I am assuming that this would be the starting point for people to make their
Yes.
entries.
Yes, but they'll have two options to make entries. Either they'll be able to enter it in the screen, but sometimes screens can take way longer to enter stuff. They
Uh-huh.
also need the ability to export out a template that they can fill out and upload. But when they export it out, it should have like what they charge people for the previous week. Yeah, because that's how you would take a look at something in a separate column, and it should have recurring charges already on there. So they should be able to either update the screen or they get an export of a spreadsheet and then they import it if that's faster. But we also need to make sure that it has well-labeled columns, and like that notes column should be internal notes, and then there should be like an invoice description field.
Okay.
And so this is the sheet where everything happens, but Sherry, could you go over to the store summary sheet that you were showing?
First of all,
Okay.
okay, Rachel, please
So,
complete.
so this sheet, AB and Elias, whenever we do a milestone, we need to work on whatever it is. Plus, we need to make sure the appropriate columns in this sheet, this shows the summary by store, get updated in our software as well, because we want to be able to see on the screen and export something that's very similar to, it always has what week number it is. It has the year and the week number, but it has the summary by store. And Sherry, can you scroll over to the right or left on this sheet? And this basically is a huge sheet that has everything in columns. And we want those columns updated, like when we were working on shipping, we needed to make sure these columns are there. Now we need all the weekly ones. And then if you go over to the summary sheet, so whenever we work on something, it's whatever we're working on, plus this sheet, plus this is like the master summary sheet and any pertinent columns for whatever we're working on in the master summary sheet need updated. So basically three places in the software. So go ahead, Elias, and maybe ask questions.
Well, first of all, is this the same sheet that you shared with me for week 21 billing, or Sherry is pulling some new sheet that I don't have yet?
She's on week 27, but it's the same sheet just for a
Same
different week.
sheet.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
that's
Sherry
good.
can
Okay.
share with you week 27. That way it matches what we just went over in this meeting. But
Okay.
it's got all the same tabs.
Okay. Fine. So, Sherry can stop sharing the screen for now. I'm
Okay.
just giving my insight at this point. So what we coded based on milestone 1, 2, and 3 is like we have coded some machine learning models out there. So if you give me the sample documents that you want the
Yeah,
system to
well,
parse.
this is what we want for milestone 3. This is what I put out there
Okay.
last Friday. What
Okay.
we went
So
over in this meeting, there's two parts of milestone 3. One would be the SKUs that Sherry already gave you that information, and then
mhm.
the other part would be the weekly charges.
Okay. So how the system works is now it takes the data, it parses it properly, and then it has the formulas already needed for the processing. Even if it is something new, let's say last time in milestone 1 we had PM rate related issues. You said like initially it was like dynamic. For example, like every week for every calculation we were uploading the same PM rate type documents, but later Jessica let me know that it has to be static until it is changed, like it will be fixed for
Right.
several weeks maybe. So we fixed that in that way. Now it is working likewise. But the thing Sherry said, like there are some fields where people usually manually input things. So we can do that also. As long as we have formulas, we can bind them with the relationship with relational database with reference primary key and foreign keys in terms of database. As well, if for every upload, we can give a form where they will give the custom formula or custom rate for the particular document to be parsed. Then it will do the automation as
And
well in
and this
the
is the only place where there's dynamic weekly pricing. Everything else is like it stays the same from week to week. This weekly
okay.
charges, but some of these are things that are recurring that need to be built in, like storage fees. This is the place in the billing where it's dynamic. The other things are fixed. We definitely won't want to build the other things so they change all the time.
So in that case, we can if you want, we can create a form where apart from uploading the documents requested or required for the processing, we can give optional fields like if it includes any kind of additional instruction or any additional format, additional
Mhm.
input, which we do manually now, the user will just fill it up and then submit. So document with that
Mhm.
additional attributes, it will parse it all together, and like documentation will be updated right likewise. So
Yes,
that's
and we
what comes
want
into mind.
them to be able to enter the weekly charges in two different ways. One would be on a screen, and they also need to be able to specify that, okay, this is a recurring charge. This happens every week or every month.
Okay.
And I think when they put in the weekly charges that it should be attached to a specific date, not a whole week, because that's how you do invoices. You have so, it just happens like a storage fee is always on such and such day of the week. Um, so they need to be able to update the weekly charges in one of two places, either on the screen or they get an export and then they re-import it. But the export, that would make sure they do all the data properly. Uh, that it give them like, here's the columns. Maybe it even gives them a drop down in the spreadsheet. Basically, a spreadsheet export so they keep everything clean.
Okay. Okay. So
And
that makes
then
sense.
after they upload it, they need to be able to see what they uploaded on the screen. So if they upload it,
Preview. Okay.
yeah, preview, because we should actually make somebody like approve, yeah, the weekly charges there, that, okay, they're done with that. Or if they
Preview and audit.
upload it,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
No issues
does
about
that
that.
make sense to you, AB, that they enter stuff in two different places?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Hmm. Oh, well, interesting thing. Like Abu Bakr, like I am quite curious about seeing you. Like, how about opening your cam? I feel like boring while I have webcam off meetings and something like that. Is that
Yeah, and
okay from you?
AB and Sherry don't have any faces today.
It's like we are Argentina and they are Brazil, you know?
Normally, it's only women who have no face days.
Ah,
Sherry
how?
sometimes has a face day and sometimes no face.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've got Storm, so I don't have bandwidth to
It-
talk and
So,
video share.
see, she even has a good excuse.
Hmm.
So, okay. So, anyways, that's milestone 3. Everything to do with SKUs that Sherry already gave you, and then the weekly charges, and and then also making sure that milestone 2 is done. And then as soon as stuff is done, then AB needs to proof it because this milestone, we're supposed to actually get the stuff done for it, not just say we got it done.
Yeah. So the good news is all the codes for milestone 2 and 3 has already been pushed to live.
So do you have
So
100% of what we discussed in this meeting done for milestone 3? I can't,
um,
I can't imagine that would be the case. I mean, you
I
might
would
have 80 or 90% of it, but I'm sure something new. So what we don't want to have happen, because AB is going to take a look at it, that we told you to do stuff in the meeting and it's not there and we have to tell you because that's obviously not a good use of time.
I think I might share, like, I might use your hands for QC as well, since I'm like low in numbers. I'm doing the coding things. So your QC is kind of helping me out to find out if anything is wrong. So
Right,
if
but
you,
you should make sure that everything we went over in this meeting is in
yeah.
there, which I'm sure there were a couple new things you learned, but since they put it out in bullets, you might have had 80 or 90% of it already.
Yeah, I need to make sure last updates like input like updates are implemented. That's it, and rest of the instruction that you provided. So what I did functionally was from our initial sheet sharing, the sheet you shared, I mapped
Mhm.
out entire scope for milestone 1, 3 to 124. Then I started milestone 1 as per your instruction, but database is already
Okay,
there.
so
2
I'm
there,
gonna
3
ask you,
there.
Elias, for milestone 3, what did we talk about in this meeting that you didn't code in milestone 3? Because that needs to be added in. And we only just gave you on Friday, I think, milestone 3, and we told you you'd have a meeting. So this is the first time you've had like the whole milestone 3 there. So what did we mention that's not in the code?
So the manual input thing, I need to re-verify the form input is
Okay,
complying, but all the data is mapped in, all
okay.
is already there.
And
And
and does it have both
what
recurring charges in there that you can set up recurring charges?
No, I need to like mention recurring charges. That's new also. So like if any
Okay.
charges is recurring, I need to give a form input there. So at the time
Uh-huh.
of inputting, uploading, like you will check or uncheck a box to
Right.
let the software know it is recurring or not. So it needs to be in place. And the last one you said like some inputs are still manually updated by humans. So those are the
Yeah.
things I need to
Yeah,
work to.
so I'd encourage you to go back, make sure everything in this video is there, everything Sherry described, and like actually the recurring charges I remember was one of the bullets that was sent over too, because you want to make sure when you deliver it to us that it has what we requested and it's not like 20% of it isn't even there. Right,
Mm-mm-mm.
Sherry?
Exactly.
Oh my God, things are pretty obvious, I think, nowadays, but not everything is going to be like that, uh, for sure.
Okay, so AB, do you have other questions, AB, on your side?
No, I'll just try to dig in as far as I can before the delivery of milestone 3 and get myself ready to QA that. Uh, the one concern I do have regarding milestone 3 is the same as Rachel mentioned, Elias. Um, I think most of the things discussed in this meeting were new when seeing the milestone 3 document. So my question is also kind of the same. Do you already have the weekly charges um concept and calculations already made in the milestone 3, or where are you at right now along milestone 3? Is it like can you tell us in a percentage amount, like what we discussed today, is already there, or it needs to be coded or something like that?
First of all, the software delivered is initially intended only for functionality. So some of the screens may not be properly serving as the backend. Like for example, the backend is maybe more advanced and front
Mhm,
end is like gradually catching up. So the
mhm,
requirement just sent is kind of a front end thing, like allowing a new interface to do. So it is something new, like I need
mhm,
to code it now.
mhm,
But apart from this, if you I think no, from user end, you would not be able to audit everything, but there is Django database back in there, you can audit everything by yourself. And most importantly, like if I just go into the have you logged in to the software so far?
Yep, I did.
So if I just share my screen, uh, what's going on? Can you see my screen or not?
No,
No,
you have
Uh,
you have to request to share it.
no, I think you're sharing, but you're sharing the Zoom
Oh,
screen.
yes,
Yes.
because I see me.
Yeah.
okay, okay. For example, this part. Can you see my screen now?
Mhm.
Yes.
This part is about milestone 1, this part is about milestone 2, this part is about milestone 3, and rest of the part is about overall like relational things, reporting things, and
Okay.
some output type things. And if we go to like admin, then we have Django. So from there, you can like if you go to users, you can add new users and map role accordingly. And here is only one user for now. So from my point of view, you should have a test case documentation
Okay.
for testing it wisely. But the software is working. Like we started developing the software from uh, it, then we had some instruction as requirement, so there is no functional SRS there.
Mm-hmm.
So you might struggle. I don't know if there is any help you want from my side. I will be cooperating, but there is no formal documentation about the functional and non-functional requirements like the usual software QA has. So
Mm-hmm.
as a new software, you might struggle a little bit, but things are there. Backend fast was the priority, and if any screen needed anything needed, I will be doing it right away.
Okay, I'll confirm that from Rachel, and I'll just let you know in what format we need the final product in.
Yeah, you need to be able to log in and proof it, AB, and it needs to
Uh,
be functional that the warehouse could actually use the software.
okay,
So
so
like
we
weekly
do
charges, it's a, like in SKUs, it's a simple enough milestone that it should actually work
yeah.
properly, that it's
So
automated the spreadsheet for both of those.
so we do need a front end working, right?
Yeah, and I've told Elias the front end can be ugly. We don't care if it's pretty, but it needs to
Mhm.
be usable because we can't use it without a front end.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. Okay, I think yeah, I've
And
asked
and
stuff.
at the end of the project, we can go back and make a pretty and cool front end, but we're just going for ugly functional.
Yeah, yeah. So like I'm considering everyone here as my team member. So if anything is needed, I will be there doing
So
then and there. Yeah. So
So how
to
much longer
make a
would you
good product.
like, Elias, now that we had this meeting, we'll give you the recording to go back, make updates, and then deliver something for AB to start proofing. And if you already did everything on the SKU side, he could start proofing the SKUs.
Yeah, so if the documents I am requesting is already with AB, he can start proofing. If anything is wrong, what
Well,
it is, he might be.
Elias, are you talking about he can proof the SKUs? Because we just gave you things you said you didn't do today in the meeting.
Uh, SQs were coded based on the
Okay.
instructional
Sure.
videos
Yeah,
from Sherry
Sherry.
and your instruction. So I did an
Okay.
intersection. Like Sherry did a lot of things, you did partial things.
Yeah.
So I get
Okay.
coded the intersection.
So
If anything
so
is
Amy,
missing,
you
I
can
can do it.
start proofing the SKUs right away. And then now that we had this meeting, when do you think the weekly charges will be ready for proofing?
So like I would say 2 days because first of all I need to code it and then I need those documents from for mine to test like if the document is properly being parsed, being processed or
Mm.
calculated or not. So I didn't have the latest unique documents as requested over
Okay.
and over again.
It,
So
and Sherry, I do see too, as at sometime very soon here, we may be able to have AB on Mondays put the same stuff into Elias's system to see if it calculates the same.
He'll probably have to do it on Tuesdays because it won't be done manually until,
Okay,
yeah.
Tu- Tuesday, that's true. Although, right, it depends on when the weekly charges are done. Because theoretically, all we're doing is taking the spreadsheets from ShipStation, dumping them in, and then the weekly charges. So AB, I think that'd be something good for you to start doing is
I
we
mean,
use
it's feasible.
Elia's
He can start
system.
running parallel with it.
Yeah.
We can see how
I,
much faster and then compare to the
uh,
end results, but we won't be able to compare it until the manual is done.
Yeah.
Right.
I did receive documentation from week 21 and maybe some documents from 22. So if you are working with 27, week 27, then I think some documents are already there to test it now, which is
Yeah.
not like a duplicate from my
So,
database.
so I think AB, that'd be a good thing to start doing on Mondays, because as soon as we have milestone 3 done, we already did the shipping charges that we should be able to run in parallel, and it wouldn't take you very much time because it's automated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sure, I get.
What Jessica will spend all day doing, you'll just do an
Yeah.
upload and boom.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
Um,
really like that approach, don't you, Sherry?
Yep,
Because that means when we get the project done, it actually works.
yep.
Yeah. It will. Yep.
um, One thing, Abu Bakr, like I don't know about your tech stack, like which stack you usually work with.
Yeah, this was supposed to be Laravel PHP.
Ah, we
uh,
did it in Python.
Okay. Hmm.
And Odoo is in Python, so
That's why
Python
in
is an
Python. Yeah.
okay language too. Yeah, but it's not
Mm.
supposed to be in any other languages other than if we were to approve another front end one.
Yeah.
Because I doubt the front end is in Python.
Um,
Yeah.
no, no, Python is backend, and we
That's
coded is in Python because, like I said about parsing documents. So in
mhm.
Python, it is easy. Like it will take the document, do machine learning steps, process it accurately, and within very short period of time with minimal line of codes. Yeah, that's why Python.
Mhm.
Yes. And AB, I do need you to do the document that you and I talked about of like the flow of we've got
Yeah.
ShipStation over and then we've got data warehouse and then Odoo.
Yeah. Hmm.
And our first priority is to save Jessica.
Yeah. Okay.
But theoretically, like once we get milestone 1 cleaned up, we should have like all the stuff we just uploaded and we see what we bill every client for shipping and weekly charges. And it should theoretically match. And if you only did billing on Monday, you'd spend just a few minutes and be twiddling your thumbs all day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Um,
Anything else then? So in 2 days, Elias will proof the weekly charges and he can start proofing right away uh the SKUs.
Nothing from my side. I just wanted to say like everything you have, as much as detail you can give me, I will be like that much efficient. Like
And
it's not
and
only machine learning, it is myself also learning about your
okay.
billing and
And
Mm.
Jessica is working on this week all the charges that are not shipping and not weekly charges, all the other charges. So, and that, yeah. So she's
Okay.
supposed to be working on the
Miscellaneous.
doc. Yeah. Well, it's
Okay.
some of them aren't miscellaneous. Some of them are like pick pack fees. Some of them are really standard core fees, but all the ones she's working on, I think are all transaction driven.
Okay.
Okay.
No issues. We'll be adding custom fields for item titles, so it will be listed accordingly. No issues about that.
Yes.
Um, do I already have access to ShipStation? Uh, I don't think so. Like,
I don't know. And anything you need, AB can help you get because he talks to
Yep.
Tim all the time, don't you, AB?
Yeah. I do.
Or he talks to you all the time. So,
now maybe like Abu Bakr was really helpful. Like, he speaks precisely. That was good and to the point. And what happens is like no matter how smartly a technique. So I was in some place like used to prove developers work, but
Mhm.
when I am coding, I need someone to speak my voice from the client side as well. So it is good, I think, in that
Oh,
perspective.
okay. Any other questions or are we good then?
Uh,
Uh,
I'm I'm good from my side. Like the things you mentioned, I have taken notes already. It's all
Okay.
there.
mhm.
So I'll be working.
Okay, I will, okay, I'll go over which this is on the Teams messages. So when we code something, it's might be wherever we code it. Then when it needs to show up that sheet that has the by client store that has lots and lots of columns, any pertinent columns need updated. Then that summary sheet needs updated. We need want to be able to export those like their spreadsheets or see them on the screen too. And then when we do the invoicing, we get an export of like the data shows up on they get a spreadsheet of like their shipments. Um, so we want to make sure that that data is readily accessible and then like these weekly charges in this case will just show up on the invoice, but they'll have to have here's the client will only see the fee they're getting charged, how much it is, and the description, but it won't be our internal description. Well, anyways, I think this was a good meeting unless there's any other questions. Sherry, do
Um,
you think we're
One,
good?
one more thing.
Yes.
One more thing is like last time, maybe I requested to have a letterhead pad from your side, or maybe any client side billing format other than the raw Excel sheets that I got, so that the print layout or export layout is presentable or maybe like makes sense a lot better than it is right now.
Okay.
So
So,
this is
so
one.
AB, could we assign to you, AB, to hunt down with Jessica, like what clients get with their invoice, like what data they get?
Yeah.
Format, yeah.
So you are asking about invoice format, Elias, or just a sheet format?
Both like reporting and invoice, both, so
Okay.
that
And
the export matches.
the invoice format will be a future milestone, and there's like 3 or 4 different ways that they look.
Okay.
Okay.
But I think the
Uh,
raw data is similar.
Mm-hmm.
mhm. Not like quite differentiable in certain cases.
Yeah. Because what it
One.
is there's different billing structures for different people, and so different data, there's like, and we have a number of different products that the invoice looks a little different, but it would be helpful for you to see what clients get as the raw data and the invoicing doesn't hurt either to see that. Just don't go and here's what I don't want you to do, Elias, that we give you stuff, you don't have instructions, you code it, and then we get a mess back and then we tell you what to do and you already coded it. Right,
no, no,
Sherry?
no.
Exactly.
That's
Ask.
Yeah, so we can give you, but don't code it. Wait till you get instructions because you might code it wrong. But on the raw data, that's different because I think that that would be very good if that came out incrementally because that would mean as we're getting this automated, we might be able, as soon as the data starts matching, we might be able to start skipping steps in the process.
Yeah. So, what it additionally means from my side, like I'm talking about the document I am
Huh?
requesting, that part. For example, your summary sheet contains different type of color code for different rows and columns.
Yeah.
So the reporting I have, if you want to have any particular format in that perspective, I can do that. And if we talk about like extra coding and everything, there that was a bad experience about Quiver thing because team where some like there are a couple of people doing the things and now I'm doing it myself. So there are some thing they coded maybe I don't have information about, and in some places like there are some dynamic requirements to for example if we go to the QR code screen, so I added a input field there which facilitates the multi-tenant architecture. So that design was not provided. If I don't allow it, you cannot map it multi-tenant wise. So as a system architect for that project, I take the leverage to do it. And maybe you remember, like you instructed me to uh, code the SMS integration in the background, but I coded
Mhm.
it with a UI. With that UI, now you have that dynamic switching leverage, and you see what's being there. So usability improved. Same applies to the admin page or something. So I found gap, I fill it up to like give a more mature product to the client for the project's well-being. And that was not intentionally coded for extra billing or something. I'm just talking to make that clear. Like I tried to help you, not
Mhm.
anything else in mind.
Okay, well, I'm good on my end. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Well, I need to talk to you, Rachel, apart from like anyone else, like personally.
Okay, well, we can let everybody go.